Welcome back, everyone. It's Cody Hart for Government Accountability. It is Saturday, May 11th, and I thought I would share with everyone some interesting election magic that I found occurring again in the Skagit County Election Office. They're just very skilled magicians down there. A lot of funny stuff has been happening over the years, and it doesn't seem like they've lost their powers. I'm going to go ahead and play an audio recording partway through and then make an explanation of what people are listening to and finish it out. And I think it'll make sense to everybody. So this is a conversation I had with the Skagit County Election Office about something I had found in the official records of the presidential primary election that was a little bit confusing to me. And I'll see if you guys think it's confusing as well.
Skagit County Elections, how can I help you?
Yeah, this is Cody Hart. I had a question. I was hoping someone could clarify something in the election results. Are you a good one to speak with?
I don't know, maybe?
Yep, maybe. Okay. So let me just start. It's really simple. I was looking at the presidential primary election, and I noticed that the challenge ballot list indicates 2,288 ballots not to be counted. And the reason I bring this up is under the certification documents, the number is different. And I was just curious why the numbers were different.
Okay, hang on, let me go look at that real quick. And you're looking at...
So if you compare the certification ballot...
Hang on just a sec. I'm just looking, okay, so you're looking at... right now I'm looking at the results rather than the certification, so I'm going to look at that first really quick. And you were saying, as far as ballots counted?
So under the certification, you'll see that the ballots rejected were 2,108. Do you see that number?
Well, I'm not looking at the certification part. What part are you looking at? It's okay, so you're talking about on the website, yes?
The information is on the website. What I'm looking at is the PDF of the ballot, the election certification right now.
Okay.
The reconciliation form.
Okay, so they said 2108.
Yes, okay.
And then, so what was the other, where were you finding the other number then?
So in the ballot review meeting, which was held on 3/19, I was reviewing the minutes, and in there they rejected 2,288. All right, so let me stop right there and catch everyone up on what I'm looking at and why I ask these questions and what all these numbers are about. So I wanted to bring everyone here to this document. This is the March 19th meeting minutes. As you'll see in this is a canvassing board meeting. That's anything to do with elections, essentially the canvassing board has to deal with and approve or reject votes. Well, here we have a representative from the auditor, commissioner, and prosecuting attorney. They had a meeting, and in this meeting, they decided that in this challenge ballot list, for all the reasons that you see here in this table, 2,288 votes won't be counted. Well, that is on the 19th again, everyone, March 19th. You go to the 22nd, that's when the certification actually occurred. And I can't find that there was another meeting, which makes sense. It was the 19th, with 3 days before this. And I read this, and in this you will see, very straightforward, it says the Perkins moves to reject challenge ballots that were reviewed in the prior meeting, seconded by Wiesen, none opposed, motion passes unanimously. Well, remember what we had in the prior meeting? We had 2,288. Well, why am I calling? Because when I look at the certification documents, again, this is certified on the 22nd, the same day they had that meeting, the 22nd day of March. We have the reconciliation report, which is a summary report of specific information the legislature wants to see from every single election office in the state. Well, in this report, when you look at it, it has a column here, ballots not counted, ballots rejected, and it says in here a number 2,108. Now remember, the previous meeting, the 19th, said there were 2,288, almost 200. But they did not reject all of those by the time certification happens, even though they said in the meeting they were going to accept all the ones that the rejections in the prior meeting. So somehow, magically, between the 19th and 22nd, without there being any record of it happening or why it happened, we had almost 200 votes magically appear in the final certification documents. That's what this phone call is about. That is why I called. And I was being very sincere. Some of these people do try. Some of them are really trying to give you good answers. So with that, I will now I'll let everyone listen to how the rest of the meeting really went.
Okay, so that's going to be a couple. How many was rejected again?
2,288.
Okay, so I will check, but that's a couple days before certification, so my guess is, well, let me look again at the calendar to see when the certification was. Okay, let me see if I can find out. Hang on a sec.
Yeah.
Okay, so that 319 meeting,
Yeah.
you still there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, so that's before certification.
Yes.
So certification,
Was on the
we still had
22nd.
some ballots to go through, and people could still turn in cure forms. So that's why the numbers are different.
What kind of
And
form?
that's why they have more than one meeting.
Yeah, no, I'm just calling to see because it doesn't make sense to me. I know the certification occurred on the 22nd. That's what the document says. Okay. So what meeting did the difference come in? Because that one says there's.
It's a canvassing board meeting, right? And they hold a canvassing board meeting, and they go with the stuff they have then. But it doesn't mean that everything has been processed at that point. So people can still turn in like cure letters until the day before certification. So there was still time.
Oh,
So it's not going to be the same numbers.
what?
Plus, we could still get, mailed in ballots that have the right date and stuff. So that's why there's going to be a difference between those.
And that's fine. Where is that information at in the record? All right, let me stop again. So this may shock everyone. So we have an election, we have meetings with our government officials counting and looking over all the data. And what do we get told? That, oh yeah, after all this happens, there could still be things that happen. People could still, ballots could be appearing. We don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine, but I guess I would like to see a record of that. So that's where the end of this conversation really went. So let's listen to that.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Well, you're saying that there's something that happened after the 19th.
Right. That's why there's more than one meeting. They go through everything they have at the one meeting.
Yep.
And then at the certification meeting, then if there's any other stuff for them to go through that's happened since the other one, they go through it then before they certify. So.
I agree with you, but I looked at that meeting too, and it doesn't talk about those 100 and something.
Okay. Well, I wasn't at the meeting, so I can't really tell you that.
Well, I'm not picking on you. You understand why I ask, because I can't find the record of why there's a difference. Is there any way I can get? I mean, is that a record? Does it exist that says, hey, this is what happened to these people?
Well, it should be reflected in the official results if you go look at the election results. So if you had gotten the results before then, I guess you could compare them. I don't know quite what to tell you. I can ask.
Yeah, I definitely want an answer.
It just said the election wasn't over until it's certified. So, I mean, anything that happens from that one meeting to the next one wouldn't have been reflected in the first meeting.
I can agree with you, but I can't find a meeting where this was ever addressed, where these votes were created. Because, I mean, it is a fair question. I'm really not picking on you. Just can you? Yeah. So I'm Cody. I know you have my do you want my contact information again?
No.
All right. So, let me emphasize this again. She says it herself. They have a meeting on 19th. The elected officials meet. All right. And then they review everything, and the elected officials are supposed to do their job and say yes or no to votes. The most precious thing in our constitutional republic is the right to vote, and your vote be counted. Everyone keeps saying that, right? That's the whole reason why we keep having this mail-in ballot system, because they keep saying, oh yeah, everyone needs to make sure this is the best way to make sure everyone has the right to vote. All right. So then at certification, numbers change. There's no record of it. There is no meeting between the 19th and 22nd. So there's only really two options. One is that people within the office changed the votes after the elected officials had seen them to what, for some reason, let's not speculate, let's just say for some reason, and never told the elected officials to say if that was all right. Because there's no elected official signature saying that's all right anywhere. And so that's option one. Option two is that somewhere outside of the system, maybe through the computers, maybe through the state's office, who knows, another party changed the information without the election officials knowing. Not a very good option. Both options suck. It's really the only two options I can think of, though. They got changed without the approval of the actual elected officials, or they got changed without approval, but it was done by an outside entity. Maybe China, maybe Russia, maybe someone we don't like in our own country that doesn't like free and fair elections, that want to change the outcome. So a lot of people may say, well, Cody, it's only a couple hundred votes. Let me emphasize this. This was the federal election presidential primary. This is how you beta test your process. You go in when no one really notices and see if you have a process that works, that you can do things. I think that's a good option here that could have happened. And maybe the people behind it just want to see, hey, will they notice? Can we do this without anyone noticing? And do we have the ability to do it? So let's do it into a federal election, presidential election, right? And see if our little method of doing things works. And I think that might have happened too. It doesn't really matter. We have numbers that don't match. This is about 5% of the entire batch of rejected votes. Now, I want you to think about that, because a lot of positions in elections, they are far less than 5% of the votes that separate one or two candidates. So I just want everyone to understand why it's so significant, why I keep telling people I don't trust the system. I don't trust anything about it. And I don't really think you guys should either. I really don't. We've yet to have an election I can't find massive issues with. They've been going back to 2020, and this is just another example of the magic of the elections in Washington State, how magical they are. And we have wizards and witches and sorcerers that can magically make votes happen and not happen, and none of us seem to know how it's happening, and nobody seems to have a record of it. So that was my update for you guys today. I just want to share that with you, and yeah, good luck to all of us on this next election. We'll see what happens. Thank you.